bringing some Need for Speed content with you guys here today. Today we're going to actually, I don't know, what are we doing today?
Talking about difference between difference between old and new cars, specifically why new modern cars most of the time suck.
Okay, so point number one, safety and restraint. Let's be honest, we love speed, we love performance and horsepower, right? We're those kind of guys, we're those kind of car guys, right? The thing is, some of these safety features are just more or less a nuisance than anything else. Like, especially, like, say that backup camera, right? People get too comfortable with the backup camera. Like, they rely on it too much. And, say something goes wrong, right? Say something breaks with the electronic components with it or whatever, and you have to get it replaced. It's just it's just another thing to fix. Right?
Well, actually, if I can say something, if you know what you're doing, you can take it apart. But then it's like you gotta follow the routing of the wire to the dash cam, and then you have to take the dash cam out. And most modern cars, the dash is a pain in the butt to take out. But yeah, I mean, I really don't see the point of a backup cam. I mean, shit, yeah, they don't work. I mean, they work. I mean, I would only personally, if I had it on a truck, the only time I'd use that is if I'm trying to like connect, like hook a trailer up to my truck and I can't really see, and I use.
Or if you're backing into a really tight spot without a lot of clearance with a truck. But
Well,
granted,
I mean, my truck sits lower than my mom's Explorer, but I mean, my truck's a '96 Ranger, so I don't have that option for a that luxury of having a backup cam. Even then, it's like my back window is right behind my back seat, right behind my seat, so I can see the tailgate on my truck, and I go past it a bit, so not really worried about that.
day races, by the way, if you were wondering.
Alright, day races. Oh, you know what? Actually, stream. I know we have this planned out and stuff, but y'all know the deal.
It's time for him to pack it up. I already cracked my my energy drink open.
And this is a brand new can of dip. I've already opened it, but it's been sitting in my freezer for a few days, so you know that tobacco's nice and moist.
He's packing it up.
Yeah. Copenhagen winter rain.
Well, so yeah, that's thing number one is safety and restraint. I feel like there's too many safety features, and they're just bound. They're just bound to go wrong. Like I said, like the more you engineer in a car, like the more over engineering you do. That's a big complaint with like German cars, and I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite here, but I'm gonna argue the more safety features and weird shit your car has, the more it's likely to go wrong. The less you have, the less you gotta worry about.
So actually, fun fact, so my mom's Explorer's 2021, I think, or 2022 Ford Explorer. I remember one time she was driving, she went to hit the brakes, and the brakes like weren't working. Which is funny, considering that car is only about like, I think it'd be about a year old. See, my truck, my Ford Ranger, my '96 Ranger. So the brakes are kind of wonky on it, but when I push on the brakes, it works. I mean, it will stop. It's just the brakes are kind of wonky, and I think I might need to bleed my brakes, but yeah, my brakes, just a simple hydraulic system. No little mechanical things on it. But I mean, yeah, my mom's car has like a seat warmer and all that shit. I mean, the seat warmer's nice, but then it's like, if that sucker goes out, there's no such thing as you fixing it. You have to take it to a dealership. My truck, no seat warmer. So if it's cold, I have to sit there with a cold seat.
Yeah, you always got your farts to warm up the seat.
Yeah. All I need to do is just drink some Mr. Hyde, and
Oh
yeah,
God.
my seat will be.
Oh yeah, that's some hillbilly shit, man. I drive a more, as you know, I drive a BMW, 3 Series, 2011. So it's relatively new. Not relatively new, but it's relatively modern enough to have a lot of these features on it, right?
Yeah, and I mean, you've seen the inside of my truck, right?
Yeah. But yeah. I would like to argue, though, BMW does their shit correctly. I mean, there's not a whole lot of issues with that. But a lot of brands that are, like, just integrating, like you remember when the backup remember the year models when backup cameras are getting new, like were brand new, they would have issues and stuff like that. You know, I feel like they're getting better with it now. But at the same time, it's just like, I don't know, man. Like the 2016
you
Equinox.
Bring up backup cams. Sorry to cut you off. That brings back that makes me think of the time I was watching this. So for any of you who've ever watched, anyone who knows Nicolas Cage, you know he did 2 movies called National Treasure, and one of them I think it was like in 2009 or something. They were running from I don't know what, and they got into a car, and as they turned it on, the screen for the backup cam came out and like popped up, and my
I started a race, by the way.
Oh shit!
We're gonna start with our. Just waiting for you to accept. We're gonna start with
you might have to cancel again.
We'll withdraw.
Sorry, hold on. I haven't got to putting my tobacco in my mouth.
Better hurry up there.
Watching, I don't chewing tobacco. I don't know. You know what's funny is, you know, I'm not trying to promote chewing tobacco. That's my thing. That's how I start my streams. It's like, oh, hold on.
I think it's just crazy. The other thing I'm noticing, and I don't know about you, Slayer, but are you noticing how like every brand is like phasing out cars?
Yeah, I mean Dodge is not going to be doing a Hellcat series anymore.
Yeah, that's the all electric nonsense that everyone keeps talking about. But I mean, I'm talking about like they're not like GMC does not make a car. They only make a SUV, a truck, and a van. You know what I mean? That's their whole lineup. That's their whole shtick. And same with Buick. And I don't know. To me, it's kind of scary. Like no brand, like you know, we're getting killed off here when it comes to like.
I mean, Ford's still making cars.
Yeah, Ford still makes like the Mustang and stuff like that. Chevy still makes the Corvette, but sooner or later, like we noticed with like, I don't know, like I said, brands of GMC and Chrysler. Well, not Chrysler necessarily. They still make cars. Jeep doesn't make a car, do they? They only make like Jeeps.
They make their off-road SUV sort of things.
Yeah. I'm noticing people are also starting to make more like wagons too. Oh, sweet, you passed me. Are you racing in your 2006 BMW M3?
Yeah, my Damascus BMW.
I'm in my 2010 BMW M3. Nice. You know, I really like BMW, honestly. Like, it's grown on me. like racing with them in this game and looking at them in real life, and just seeing what all they've accomplished. Owning one, like they've really grown on me, especially like the early 2000s and the modern Beamers. Except for like the BMW SUVs. I'm sorry guys, but really not a big fan there. Just not a big SUV guy. A lot of people don't get it. Like a lot of people, a lot of the car guys say SUVs are useless, this and that, but they'll also endorse the hatchbacks and wagons. I don't like. What are your thoughts on wagons?
Like the wagons. Oh, those are like from the those are like from the 70s and 60s, right?
Yeah, station wagons, but modern equivalents, right? So see the car we're in right now. Imagine that, but the rear end's extended to be a wagon.
Oh god, that's. I mean, station wagons for their time. So I actually had a manager. When he was growing up, station wagons were a thing, and he was telling me a story about how station wagons, like how when he was driving down here from New York, he had to sit in the back with no seat or a seat belt, and that was before like the whole you got to wear a seat belt.
Yeah, I think the reason, and here's why wagons existed in the first place, was to make something with similar performance to a car. You know what I mean? With all the driver comforts and all that stuff, and passenger comforts, combined with the conveniences of an SUV. However, it would also have the gas mileage and all that nonsense, or whatever, and I think that started the whole downfall of cars. Because, once brands started saying, well, we care more about miles per gallon than we do horsepower, torque, those kind of things, none of that really matters. I feel like that being said, it kills off the spirit of speed. You know what I mean? Like, cool cars don't really exist anymore. Cars are just cars.
I can't really speak for cars, but because the only vehicle I have is a truck. But back when Mustangs were coming out, when Mustangs were back in the 70s and 60s, most people, if they were driving manual transmissions. And yeah, I know, you told me it's like, now you like manual transmissions. I mean, I got nothing wrong with driving with a manual transmission.
There's nothing wrong with it at all.
Actually, it makes you listen. It makes you feel your car more, if that makes sense. Like, you're driving it, with automatic, you just sit there and you drive, and as you don't have to worry about shifting. You don't have to listen to your engine.
Yeah.
But a manual, it's like because my dad, the way he was showing me, he's like the engine will tell you when you got to shift. And when it starts making a noise, when it starts doing the thing, it will tell you, then you shift.
Yep.
And I think that that teaches you how to be more in tune with your car when you're driving.
Yeah, listening for engine prompts.
Yeah, and
when to shift up and when to shift down.
Yeah. You know when to downshift, and as you continue driving, you get better at it. At first, you might keep stalling it, like what I did. The first time I drove that truck, I kept stalling it. And the second time I drove it, even my dad, he's like, you're getting better with driving the stick shift. Because I only stalled out once, and that was leaving the gas station. Of course, I was a little hesitant about pulling out. And why the fuck you hitting me? But yeah, I mean, I got nothing wrong with a fucking stick shift. And also, as I mentioned earlier, most cars, the common material used is aluminum. I get the whole, it makes the car lighter, but aluminum it dents easier.
For sure.
And when you get a dent into it, you can't just beat the dent out. Now my truck, it's got dents on it. But here's the thing, my dad or me, I could take like a mallet and I could lightly beat out the dents. Because it's the stronger metal, and I don't have to be as careful.
Yeah, but when you go back and look at like Pontiac commercials back in the day, I mean, like those bumpers were just built to bump. Nowadays, people are always saying like, I like SUVs because they make me feel safe, right? It sits up higher, this and that. I'd argue it's the complete opposite of safe, honestly. Like, just because it sits up higher doesn't mean that you can see better, this and that. That's just, if you like are in a lower sitting vehicle, like say my BMW, right? It's just really low to the ground, and I have low profile tires and all this and that. Like, if I can drive it from point A to point B perfectly fine, there's no reason why, anyone else can't, unless they have seeing problems. Which in that case falls into the whole, whether you should be driving or not in the first place. But I think personally, there is nothing wrong with cars, so I don't see why we're phasing them out. And Consumer Reports suggest people are buying more SUVs than they are coupes or sedans, which is kind of upsetting, to be honest, because if they're phasing out sedans and coupes, there's no real cars that exist anymore. You know what I mean? It's just... I make the joke SUV stands for shitty, useless vehicle. Because, I mean, like, well... You know how it is with them. But... I don't know, man. I feel like cars are getting way less cooler and becoming more like... they're less stylish. They're more like for utility purposes more than anything. They become a utility, like a washer or a dryer. I think I've said that point before on the channel. Where they're less in tune to be pleasing to the eye and more in tune to being better on the gas. And I'm not...
Like with the Rangers, the newer Rangers, I don't like the look of them. They don't look... Like, Rangers have a distinct look. Like, the older Rangers, they have a distinct, like the old, 2000, from before, 2010. Like, Rangers and, the F series of trucks had different looks. Like, you could tell, oh, well, that's a Ranger, and that's a...
And everything nowadays blends in.
Yeah, I don't like the look of the new Rangers. They don't have, that more, you know what the older Rangers look like? You know that style of look?
Yeah, perfect for mini trucking. Mini trucking is a thing. I know that's a different truck culture. Isn't there 3 different subcategories of trucking, right? There's mini trucking, there's diesel trucking, and then there's just regular trucking, right?
You got see, most people when they do mini trucks, they make them more into race trucks, especially the 2-wheel drives, because you can't go off-road all with it. Mini trucking, it also depends on what drive, what kind of truck you have. Say you have a 2-wheel drive Ford Ranger like mine, you wouldn't want to make that truck off-roading, because if you get stuck, you don't have your front wheels to help you. So most people will be like, well, I'd make that like a race truck.
I've seen all-wheel drive Silverados get stuck in the mud. And it was really funny. Did I send you that video? The Silverado getting with stuck.
My dad's a diesel. He has a 2nd-gen Cummins. You wouldn't really want to take that through a mud pit, because once that bitch gets stuck, the reason why it would get stuck is because of the weight. Now my truck, you wouldn't really want to take that mud running, because it would get stuck. Yeah. But you could pull it out. I mean, that truck's light, considering that it's not made of aluminum. I mean,
yep.
It's like Rangers from that time. They had a distinct look to them. Like, oh, you look at a Ranger. Oh, you look at trucks nowadays. Well,
it's the same. It's the same.
Yeah, Ford truck, at F1, I could go to a dealership, and if I look at a 2023 Ranger and F-150, if I didn't see the Ranger thing in F-150, I'd think, oh, well, that's just a smaller,
F-150.
Yeah, but then it's like if you put a 90, if you put my truck next to a like a 98 F-150, okay, that truck's a Ranger, and that
Servers are connected to be shutting down shortly. We'll just finish this race. There's not much of it left. You still there?
yeah, I'm still here.
You got cut off in mid-sentence. What happened?
Oh, I had to spit.
Oh. So I think Ford, what they did was they took the. Okay, so when I was working at the hardware store, right? When we would deliver grills and do deliveries, it was in a Ford F1. It was in a Ford Ranger, but it said F-150 Ranger on it. So what I think, I don't know. I can't really speak too much for Ford because I don't really pay too much attention to trucks. I don't really keep up with like what they do specifically with them. But I think what they did with it is they turned the Ranger into a trim option instead of having it be its own unique truck lineup. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, you know how the Raptor is a trim option?
Mhm.
I think the Ranger is turned into a trim option, and that's sad. It's like an
That
entire.
really is sad. 'Cause I mean,
I
fucking.
like them looking different, man. That's why body kits are like coming back. And I like body kits because guess what? Now people's vehicles look different. um, but on 50
Are you still streaming?
Ranger, yeah. We had to back out. We had to restart this because that server's shutting down.
With the lobby.
So
That's
yeah,
like yeah.
yeah. It says F-150 Ranger on the, you know what I mean. So it's like it's not even its own like Ford Ranger. You know what I mean?
I mean, F-150s. You know, most F-150s usually have a back seat and have like a bigger like cab. Rangers have a small cab. They have like the older Rangers have a distinct like hood and grill.
I mean, if you look at the 2017 Ford Ranger XLT 4x4 with the dual cab utility, I mean, it kind of looks apart from a F-150 a little bit. Like, it stands out. But granted, I know what you mean. I mean, I've seen. Yeah, the Ford Rangers need to be its own thing. But what they've done to my Ford Maverick is they've turned it into a truck. And that ultimately, I don't like that at all. And I think you know why. Because well, you've taken a perfectly good muscle car and turned it into a truck. Why? You know what I mean?
What the fuck? These new Dodge Dakotas, it looks just like a 1500.
Yeah, they all just look the same. Like they don't look like different anymore.
I mean, I know you don't like Dodge, but like Dodge Dakotas, I'd like that look to them, and then you know the after that the 1500s, V8s and shit. Like if you look at a older like Dodge Ram 1500s, they look different from They had that. The grill was different from a Dodge Dakota. The headlights were different. And just sad.
Okay, so here's the question, man. Modern Ford Bronco or modern Jeep Wrangler?
I don't. Man, the Ford Bronco is just an Explorer with a fucking Bronco badge on it. Like, goddamn that like this 2023 Ford Ranger Lariat. It looks just like an F-150. What the fuck, Ford? There's no difference between a like. What the fuck? That's not a Ranger. That is a fucking. That's just an F-150.
150 with a Ranger badge slapped on it. Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, again, I think though that whilst your opinion may be a little bit harsh on the Ford Bronco, I think it's better than the Wrangler, honestly. But that's just my opinion, though. Because, mind you, even though it only has an inline four-cylinder, the Ford Bronco, a 2.3 liter turbo, four-cylinder inline, it still produces up to 300 horsepower, where the Jeep Wrangler with the V6 only produces 285 horsepower. So, with there only being really a 15 horsepower difference between the two, I think if the Ford Bronco got swapped for a Mustang Coyote engine, I mean, I think that'd be pretty badass, generating over 370 horses.
How much horsepower does a 1996 Ford Ranger 3.0 liter
your manual should say? Like when you read your manual, it will tell you all your specs. That's how I got all the specs for my BMW. Then again, I also looked up online the specs for all the other different BMW models and did my comparisons.
It only has 145 horsepower.
Yep. I think that's you behind me, isn't it? Yeah. That's you behind me. In your BMW. However, you're merged with somebody else's car as well.
Man, I like the look of these 96 Ford Rangers.
Yeah.
You can tell it's a single cab because they don't have a rear window.
Hey, I started a race. It's a typical track race. They really should have put a Ford Ranger in this game. They have the Ford F-150. They should have put an older Ranger in here because they have an older Chevy. Now, but here's the really big question. How do we feel about electric cars?
No, thank you. It's not because I support. It's not because I like gas engines. If you really honestly look at how they're made and what's used to make them, most of what they have to do to make that electric car, actually, there's studies that prove that electric cars produce more greenhouse gas than a regular gas engine. I'm not saying that they produce it by themselves. It's what goes into making them because, when they mine...
Yeah, it's when they mine for lithium, they have to strip mine. Yeah.
Yeah, and then on top of it, when electric cars were becoming a thing, they had to mass produce them. So they had to mine a lot of lithium and stuff,
Damn, it's
and then they had to they had to send them to factories that had the specialty equipment, and then they had to do all the electrical and stuff because there's no gas on it, so they gotta connect. They have to have connectors to the batteries just to make sure it runs. So more time in the factory means more greenhouse gases because most factories still they still take electricity from power plants that burn coal and stuff. And then when you go to recharge it, most electrical charging stations, they get their electricity from gas-powered power plants. So reality is, and it takes more. They have to use more gas. They have to burn a lot of coal and stuff to produce all that electricity because they're making electricity for houses and all this stuff. So ergo that has more emissions to it. So yeah, I don't like electric cars. And then if they break down, you got to take it to a you can't take it to a lot of a lot of auto body shops because because they mostly just work with gas and diesel engines. So you have to take it to a specialist that actually has the equipment to do electrical work.
And since there's not a huge amount of electric cars in circulation, I mean there is, but like the amount of time people aren't going to take them to no specialty shop, they're going to just take it back to the dealership and get a new one. You know what I mean? The times that people would actually fix electric cars is just so unlikely. You know what I mean? So a lot of that's gone. And Tesla, I don't like them. And by the way, not to mention that battery-powered cars is just a fire hazard. Just one big electrical fire hazard. So they're not safe at all. Tesla's build quality is dog shit. Like their fit and finish is dog shit. You can look up a lot of the safety problems about the rear doors, the passenger doors, not like unlocking or not even opening at times. It's really difficult to open them. The locks and actuators, get fucked up. So if you were to get caught in like a vehicle accident, you'd basically be trapped in the back and have to get the jaws of life to get you out. Jaws of life.
My truck only has 2 doors, and I mean it doesn't have electrical lockers on it. In order to unlock it from inside, you have to to unlock it, you have to open the door. You can pull on the thing to unlock it. Because because I was looking around my truck, there's no button I can hit to do the locks. Because even the windows, I have to manually roll them down. Like it uses that that turn thing.
You crank it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars that had that.
Hey, so why are you sniffing my boot? Why's your nose in my boots? What are you sniffing for? What are you sniffing for? Hey! Ooh. The German Shepherd sniffing for something. He's just sniffing around. Being a typical German Shepherd.
I don't know what to buy. I'm gonna buy an Aston Martin DB11. But regardless, what do you call it? Slayer. The big thing I was gonna complain about when it comes to this all-electric crap, people are, I was told that all-electric beats gas engines in every way but one. Range. I don't believe that. I really don't believe that. I feel like gas always wins. It's cheaper to get Because if you think about it, like, you know, if your battery ever does go wrong, God forbid, it's about the price of a car. You know, it's about the price of a used car just for a battery. So they're not nearly as reliable, say, in terms, or especially not as, like, fixable if shit goes, like, bad. You know what I mean? Like, really bad. So that's kind of scary, honestly. I wonder what kind of body stuff we can do to it. I don't want to do too much to my Aston Martin here. DB11s are so cool.
Wow.
Oh, hey, what's up, Unlimited? Yo, you should hop on, dude.
Nice car, dude.
Yeah, thanks, man. Dude, you should hop on the PlayStation. I'll invite you to the party if you want. And we could play Need for Speed. I know you have the BMW.
Aston Martin DB7.
Oh, I'm in a DB11. I have a DB7 though. Or DB5, I mean. Yeah, here's my DB5 James Bond car. I have the white wall.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful. You could tell that grill style, they've kept that style and put it into their more modern equivalent.
And pink waving.
But like hybrid cars, like, okay, BMW has like the Z4s, or the i8s, I mean, right? The Acura NSX has hybrid. You know what I mean? I think that, you know, and when I was going to apply at that job at the dealership, you know what the guy told me?
What?
That electric is going to be the way of the future. Like, they're moving into electric. I'm not on board with it, dude. Like, I'm just not. Like, I don't know, man. Call me a traditionalist, man, but gas rules. Like, cash is king. Crypto didn't work. Like think about crypto. Think about like this. Electric cars is like the crypto of the car world, right? You know what I mean? Everyone keeps saying invest in it. Everyone's saying get one, get this. It does all this nonsense, blah blah blah, and it usually always something goes bad. Something always goes wrong. It's never a worthwhile investment. I wouldn't say, because again, in my opinion, the I'll take us to a different track. I don't know which one we want to. You want to do some inner city racing? Get away from all this track racing?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Well, I'll go down to a track in the city. But, like for instance, right? Think about gas is cash. You know what I mean? It's always king. It always works. Diesel's like your safe alternative. Diesel's like a credit card, right? It's there when you need it. And it's always reliable. It always works. Now, think about electric being crypto. It's relatively new. It's typically unproven. Like, electric cars, there's a reason that in the 1800s, we moved away from electrical cars to gas cars. There's a reason we did that. Because gas is the way of the future. Let's see what's around us really quickly. But even hybrids, I feel like, aren't even all that great. Like, i8s are awesome. I love the way they look. They're like a supercar, but I would love to engine swap them for an all-gas engine. You know what I mean? Did you ever see that video of the guy who swapped his Tesla engine for a diesel engine?
What the fuck?
Huh? Yeah. Homie has a fucking diesel engine in a Tesla.
Does he go off-roading with it?
No, he just drives it around, bro. It creates so much smoke and it gets all trapped in there, and then it seeps through. People are like, "Oh, that's disgusting. That's how could you do that?" But I hate the way the Teslas look. They look so unsporty. You know how they don't even have a grill? Their whole gimmick is to lack the features that normal cars have. No exhaust, no grill, no vents. It's all flat. It's all like, notice how like a lot of cars on here have like little like hood vents and stuff like that. That's to let air in to cool down the engine. That's why grills exist primarily. Oh shit, sorry. Oh shit. A lot of things just happened there really quickly. I'm seeping in. But yeah, dude, like I feel like electric cars I think it's gonna be the end of cars, man. I feel like, you know, it'd be really fucking hilarious, Slayer. Is that these electric people try to force it on the people? They're like, all right, we're only gonna sell electric cars. Imagine if nobody buys them. Imagine if people just stop buying cars. You're already getting ripped off by going to a dealership, you know what I mean? Now imagine you get ripped off for some electrical powered dog shit. Like, I'd imagine people would just only buy used cars, and people will just stop buying. Like, people just won't buy them. They just won't sell. I totally got smacked off track. Oh, there we go. Like, I would just imagine that, you know. I mean, what do you think, Slayer? What do you think would happen, Slayer? If the world did go all electric, but people would only buy used cars, used gas-powered cars. Like, what do you think would happen?
I don't know. I mean, if people did that, then, you know, they'd still have to keep gas stations open. I mean, but gas would be really expensive. But at the same time, it's like, oh, well, companies would be like, oh, shit, we're not selling these cars.
Yeah, like, well, what happened? What happened, Schmidt? You're supposed to be selling these electric cars. Well, I don't know. Schmitty, listen. You you promised us that America would go all electric in this year. It's this year. Our sales are down 75%. It's like, well, I guess we got to make a gas-powered car. They make a gas-powered car, somebody goes out and buys it. You know what I mean? It's so simple. I don't know, man. I think it's just crazy. I mean, obviously they'll still be selling cars, but their sales would go down. These companies would go bankrupt. And considering the way these banks are getting bailed out, that'll be the same shit, you know. Like, these automotive companies are being bought out. I mean, it's sad, really. Like, and quality has gone down so bad on a lot of cars now. Especially budget cars, like budget brands, like Chevy. Like, the quality was already low, it just keeps getting worse and worse. Like, take my mom's Equinox. Like, I was washing the car the other day, and as I was taking, like, the rag, and just going across the roof, I kept hearing this bumping sound. Some parts were just cheap plastic. Like, I'd have to show you guys, an example, but it's really bad. Like, the plastic just feels it feels like a toy car more than anything else.
Yeah, but if you felt my truck, it would be actual metal.
Yeah, exactly. Durable. Like, you can, like, I feel like you can tap it, you would just hear the metal ting ting. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's awesome. Obviously, my BMW.
Now, minus the grill. The grill is plastic.
Oh, yeah, but it's only a grill.
Yeah, even the shifting knob is metal.
Yeah, so see, that's a good fit and finish. Now you take any other car, and you're like, wow, it's just all cheap. It's all nasty. It's all stupid. It's all lame. But I feel like, that's what we're paying for. We're paying more money for shittier plastic. And it's no longer
shit,
the...
My truck has an issue with the doors opening. Dude, I sometimes have to ram my body into my truck just to open the door. It don't leave a dent on that bitch. Like, I could ram into that bitch. Like, I put my weight in to open the door. It doesn't leave a fucking dent. Now, if I did that with a newer Ranger, I'd probably leave a dent in that bitch.
Yeah, I feel like in the future, it's just not going to be GM versus Ford versus Dodge versus fucking Toyota versus Honda. It's going to be all of us. Yeah, I'm not the first to say this, but it's going to be all of us versus this electric shit. Like, I feel like this is like the last bastion of fucking car culture. You know what I mean? Like, this is it, man. It's just us versus this electrical shit. Like, here's the thing, bro. They turned the Mustang into an SUV. They turned the Corvette into the SUV. Hell, Ferrari makes SUVs and electrical cars. Ferrari! That's when we know things are getting bad. When supercar brands are following the trends of regular car brands. Like, that's a bad thing. Because that means that fucking... Yeah, that means that that's going to be the target demographic for the future is SUVs. But they look so ugly. I'm sorry. They're hideous. For instance, my list of the top 10 ugliest cars. Number 10, the Honda Ridgeline. Alright, no, it's not an SUV, but it's not no truck neither. It's a man van. Alright? It is a man van. Shit, I'd have to look on my computer. I have it saved. I know number 10's a Honda Ridgeline. I think number 9's a Toyota Prius. And Porsche makes SUVs now. Like, Porsche SUVs are so popular now. It's so bad. It's so disgusting. Lamborghini SUVs, man. Like, this is like the supermodel car, man. Like, this is like them Instagram supermodels. That's like their car as an SUV Lamborghini. Like, that's so lame. But anyway, it's a lot of ranting about the SUVs, man. I think people get the message, right? And hybrids, and I think people get the message. But, I'm always gonna love muscle cars, man. Like, muscle cars to me are stylish. They represent a portion of America, the 60s and 70s, and we're still, for some time, being continued today, mainly by Ford, Chevy, and Dodge. But obviously, Dodge lost their... I lost all respect for Dodge. I'm sorry, man. Dodge I can't respect them anymore. There's just no, way for me to respect them. I mean, you have their most loyal customer base are the Dodge truck guys. They just don't know how to move on. But in my opinion, it's just come down now to the point where they don't make the Viper. They're going to stop making the Challengers, and they're going to stop making the Chargers. They're going to make it all electric. And then it's not going to sell jack shit. Like, I'm already telling you, dude. Like, people are just not wanting it, man. You know what I mean? So, but Dodge did do something somewhat respectable. It doesn't like take away from what they've already done, but they are releasing the last bit of gas powered, but they're releasing it with a lot of power. Like, they're coming out strong. But the thing is, that's going to be the end of it. That's the last final send off we're getting, and then it's all electric from there. And then next thing you know, you're not going to see any more diesel Dodge trucks. And the second that they touch the trucks, make their all electric trucks, they're going to lose their truck market. They're going to lose their most loyal target demographic. And once that happens, then what's Dodge going to do is going to die. It's going to be like Pontiac. I'm telling you, man, the electric trucks are going to kill them. The only people really buying Dodges are the truck guys that are buying the trucks, and they're unreliable trucks too. They're not even all that great. Now, like, you're lucky you got an older Dodge truck that's your dad does. You know, that thing's, you know, it's going to be a lot better, of higher quality than a lot of the shit being produced today, and you know that's true.
Yeah. I mean, shit, my dad drove that truck from Oregon to Georgia with a fucked up flywheel, a leaking exhaust, and it missing a bunch of bolts and shit. With fucked up shocks and tie rods and shit. Now, one thing I do have to shit about my Ford Ranger is just the amount of, like, bullshit I have to go through to take out the fucking instrument console.
Yep.
And then, you know, because my dad's worked on Ford Rangers, he's like the engine bank's really small, so, like, taking spark plugs out, that is a pain in the ass. It's like you gotta almost contort your arm just to get the socket onto the fucking spark plug. And then it's like loosening it just turns into a whole, like, doing this and that, and then it's like, and then when you pull it out, it's like you gotta go the way that you put your arm in. Hey, I still love my Ford Ranger.
Here's the real question. What are your thoughts on VTEC?
What the fuck is VTEC?
Alright, if you don't know, you don't know. It's something the Honda Civic community, like, busts nuts over. It's an engine swap. Non-Honda engine. VTEC. Fucking, it only produces like 230 horsepower or some shit like that. Like the K series and all that shit, and D series, B series. Fucking, anyway, regardless, it's like, it only produces like I said, like 230 plus horsepower. Meanwhile, like, you got cars coming out like a Mustang, like a good, like, you know, why would I fantasize about that when I could just buy like a Shelby GT 500 and that produces over 500 horsepower? Stock. Zero modifications. Damn.
Sorry.
That's good. It's good. I'm trying to secure a spot other than third. Oh boy. But I'm in an all-stock Aston Martin.
Ooh, bitch, get out the way, bitch, get out the way.
Damn, dude, that BMW got fucking sick. I own the same one, only I've modified mine with a little bit more body stuff, honestly. Like the visuals, like it looks more aggressive, I guess you could say it looks more street style. But honestly, dude, like, dude, like you're outrunning an Aston Martin DB11. Then again, this is only a video game, it's not the real deal. But still, it's impressive. Jesus Christ. You know what's really sad? The modern Honda Civic Type R 0 to 60 is 5.3 seconds. My BMW has the exact same thing. And mine's the lowest, like, not the lowest, but it's not the highest, like, speed. It's not an M series, you know what I mean? An M, like an M3, well, because mine's just a 3 series. If mine had an M badge on it, oh, sorry, bro. But if mine was like yours had the M badge on it, it would be doing a lot more. I mean, I'm just saying, man, that's like the top thing you can get with Honda is like the Civic Type R. That's like the highest end shit you can get. And then again, it gets outmatched by BMW, man. Isn't that funny?
Mm-hmm.
Like why even at this point? Like why try anymore? I feel like if you were to take, fuck it, I'm about to pull out my Beamer, my 2006 M3. Like, dude, that's such a sexy car. Like, you can't lie, dude. These BMWs look so sexy. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're so sexy. BMW, I don't know what it is about them, man. But they nail that, like, sporty look, man. They nail it. Honda, they just are not quite there in style. Even in the standard Civics, like the Civic Si and all that stuff, aren't even all that great. I mean, they're fun to drive. Like, you know what I mean? They're fun to have, like, you know what I mean? They can go fast a little bit. You know what I mean? It can get to where it's going. But then again, I wouldn't, like, fantasize about it all that much. Whereas I'm seeing a lot of people go with the whole VTEC culture. That's all they know. That's all they'll ever drive. Like me personally, man, like, you know, like, I'm more...
Oh, dude, so I saw this meme for, like, for line cooks, you know, line cooks, you know, where you work in a kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny. It's like an illustration of, like, this kid. He sees a Mitsubishi. He's like, "Mom, look, a Mitsubishi." And then his mom's like, "No, honey, don't look at that." And then it goes down to the next panel. And the kid's like, he's got on a hat and whatnot. He's got on, like, one of those plain black hats. His eyes are a little like darkened and shit, and he's smoking a cigarette, and the joke is, well, he just turned into a line cook. Cause see, I'm in this group called Life of a Line Cook. Because you know I work as a cook in a fast food restaurant, and the common thing is like, it's like with line cooks, how they get through their days. Usually they they drink Monsters and then they smoke cigarettes.
Yep. Sounds like some Wojak shit.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it went. Like, it showed like Wojak, and he's dressed as like a line cook. You know, he's got he's got one of those like plain black baseball caps, and then he's got a fucking one of those shirts that cooks wear, not the fancy white shirts you see in gourmet restaurants. I'm talking like something that a cook at like Red Robin or fucking McDonald's would wear.
Some cheap polo.
Yeah, cheap polo, and he's smoking a cigarette, and he drives a Mitsubishi. He's smoking a cigarette, and he looks tired. Because, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, stand over that heat all day, your eyes get real fucking strained. And you get really fucking hot and shit back there.
There was this, like, weird rainbow Mitsubishi thing. Like, it had... I'm gonna call it rainbow. Like, it had multiple color shifting, right? And it just looked weird as hell. It had, like, 30 bumper stickers on the back. My friend and I, we look at each other, like, we, like, casually just... I don't know why, but we both decided to, like, look at each other to see what our reactions were, but we did it at the same time. Then I looked over and I said, that's one ugly Mitsubishi. And we just started laughing because it's like, we thought the exact same thing. Like, it had like 50 stickers on it, bro, on the pack. It's like, that's one ugly Mitsubishi. Like, Mitsubishis aren't like the world's worst thing in the entire world. In fact, Mitsubishi, if you did not know, they make AC units.
Yeah, I know they do.
And they make a whole lot of stuff besides cars. Just like how Porsche is a furniture company. It's a lifestyle company.
I mean, fuck, Yamaha, they make
Wow.
music, they make
Nice
like
car,
instruments
dude.
and shit.
Aston Martin DB7. Beautiful. Hand pink waving.
Oh man, I'm hitting every border here, man. Oh boy. I saw a post today. I don't know if I sent it to you about lawyer reaction. It was a post about this like minivan, and it backs into this new BMW, man. Like he reverses it and then floors it in reverse. He backed straight into this BMW.
Let me guess, it was an automatic minivan.
I don't know, but whoever it was, man, they need to realize, hey, just because your life sucks ass and you don't have a cool car doesn't mean you have to go destroy someone else's cool car. Like, that's
I mean,
just not
fuck,
cool.
my truck, I have to like sometimes floor it while I'm in first gear while I'm releasing the clutch.
No, this
'Cause, you know,
person's like intentionally. I'll send you the clip here. I found it earlier. Well, let me find it. I found it earlier and I watched it. I'm like, what? Oh. Well, like, this is intentional. This is not an accident. It'd be one thing if it's an accident. Okay, whatever, right? Pay the damages, whatever. But this guy's intentionally like you can almost say he's like trying to commit homicide here, like vehicular homicide. There's a lot of people could have got hurt. Actually, send you the video. Yeah, watch it on your own time. But yeah, dude, like that's to me that just sucks ass. And especially like Lamborghinis. If you go on the internet, you look up videos of people trashing people's Lamborghinis, like egging them and throwing stuff on a new car. Like that's just not cool. Like okay, just because like you don't have that doesn't give you like any excuse to do that. That person like worked really really hard to get their car. And even if they're like an Andrew Tate or somebody who's kind of like a dick, who I mean again, I agree with a lot of what he says, but again, like I feel like there's also like a limit with manners, right? I feel like there's a level of being polite and respectable. I just don't think he meets that criteria. But then again, I don't know the man personally, so I wouldn't know anything about it. But then again, from what I've seen on the internet, from what I can compile, it's just not the kind of person that seems very. Doesn't seem like he's ever had to work hard for anything. But say, for instance, somebody like me, a nobody, worked really hard to get something nice. Like, I got a BMW, right? Say somebody has something a little lesser, and they feel the need to, like, trash my car, like slash my tires or do something crazy. That's just not cool, like, at all.
No, I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at this post. It's like line cook. It's a Monster and a cigarette, and then front of house. It's a coffee and a vape.
I would never vape, man. That shit sucks. I don't like the vaping. I don't smoke a cigar. I would never vape.
Like some of these people in this group, they're like professional
Hey, are you
cooks,
gonna-
and they're showing like their
You
professional.
gonna accept the
like,
invite?
Oh shit! No. Can you send it again?
This race pays a lot of money, by the way.
Cool.
It pays 76,000, and you'll be making extra 40% for being in the crew. Or party bonus or whatever.
People with office jobs, it was sure hot today. Kitchen staff. Oh, I get that. I Oh damn, you're in your Ford GT.
Yeah, I'm in my Golf one, my Golf livery. It's been a while since I cracked it out. My Super GT's been like my ultimate build. You know the GT. You know which one I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
My supercalifragilisticexpialidocious supercharged. I'm just kidding. Fucking. Yeah, I love that other GT, but it's been a while since I cracked this one out, and I love the livery. I love the Golf livery. I think it's so, like, I don't know, like, how could you not, man? You know what I mean? I'm gonna buy my third Ford GT here soon. But, Cat, get this, it's gonna be all stock. I'm just gonna change the color. I'm gonna make it, like, blue or red.
Damn it, come on, back up. So hey, SM.
Decided.
So for Father's Day, when Father's Day comes up, I'm gonna get my dad this shirt that says, "Skilled labor isn't cheap. Cheap labor, unskilled labor is cheap." it says like skilled labor isn't cheap. Because my dad, he does construction and stuff, and he's really good at doing construction. So I'm gonna get him a shirt that says that. And yeah, well, I mean, my dad already has a shirt that says "We'll dance for Jeep parts" from when he had like a Jeep. I'm gonna get him that. I'm gonna get him a shirt that says that. I'm gonna get him a shirt because it says that. It says skilled labor isn't cheap. It said something else about unskilled labor is cheap. Yeah. Skilled labor ain't cheap, and then unskilled labor is cheap.
Man, dude, I can't wait for it to be spring so I can do a wax job on my car.
And then I'm also gonna get my mom for Mother's Day. I'm gonna get her like a gnome.
Holy shit!
The reason why I'm gonna get my mom a gnome is because she loves gnomes. Because I mean our house just has like little gnomes everywhere.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah. Probably gonna get her like a shirt. It's a shirt. It's got a gnome on it, and it's got like coffee beans around it. It says it's coffee time. Because my mom likes to drink coffee, and then she loves gnomes. So I mean, it's a gnome saying it's coffee time. And I'm trying to find a Snap-on gnome. You know, funny enough, I got a funny story for you, dude.
What might that be?
So, my 17th birthday, we went to Hooters, right? And I got a Hooters shirt. And my mom, she bought herself a beer koozie. It's a Hooter koozie, but it's got like a Hooters girl with boobs on it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And sometimes my mom uses that koozie when she's drinking
Wow.
her
Nice
beers
car,
and stuff.
Aston Martin DB7. Beautiful. Hand pink waving.
Slayer, guess how many cars I own now?
At least 60.
I own 97.
Damn.
3 more and I'll be at 100.
Hey, wanna know something funny? So my dad, he has an account with a Snap-on truck.
The
only reason why he's got an account with an actual Snap-on truck is because he knows the guy. He like helped the guy, And so the guy got him an account with the Snap-on truck. And so every time my dad buys Snap-on tools, he buys for that guy because you know he can do like payments and stuff on instead of like paying all at once for like a Snap-on tool. So yeah. And my dad even told me, he's like, if there's a Snap-on tool you want, just let me know. And then, like, he orders it, and then, like, I give him a certain amount of money to pay it off. Because, I mean, shit, if I could finance a Snap-on tool, then that doesn't mean I have to, like, set aside a bunch of money, like, $200 for a ratchet.
Nice.
Yeah, because I think it's kind of hard to get an account with a Snap-on truck. Like, yeah, I think you have to be like be like a mechanic or something. Like, you have to have like an automotive shop or something.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, my dad's got a picture of me as a baby. He's got a picture of like me as a baby with my birth mom next to a Snap-on chopper.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He's also got like pictures of like so he's got like in his room he's got pictures of like the Snap-on chopper. You know, the Snap-on motorcycle?
Yep.
Yeah. Snap-on. Snappy-on. Snappy. Snappy tools. That's what my dad calls them. He calls them snappy.
Snappy tools.
Yeah, he says snappy. Yeah.
And well, it's 10. Well, it's actually about to be 11 here in a second. Literally in like 15 seconds, it'll be 11. No, actually less than that. It's already 11 now. Just as I said that. Damn. Alright, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Alright, peace out, dudes.